What's going on, guys? Today we're taking a look at a new motherboard from MSI. It is their Z97 MPower, and it is designed, of course, for overclockers. This is part of their overclocking line. So let's go ahead and take a look. The Z97 MPower motherboard comes in, of course, MSI's retail packaging, which, as you can see, has the big yellow M, which is kind of the insignia of the MPower line, all yellow, as you can see. And if we flip it over to the back, it gives us some great detail on some of the main features. Of course, the military class components of this motherboard. You know, it is made for overclocking, so you have those hardcore components that can take the higher voltages and all of that. And then if we actually go over here, I'm going to set it down for a second, we can actually lift this up. And this is going to give you, again, more detail on all of the, different components and everything like that about the motherboard. So, if you're at the store, you can pop this open and get information on everything. But I know you guys just want me to open this up, so I am going to go ahead and do that. And if we open it up, the first thing we see here is the motherboard itself, and we're going to go ahead and take that out. Of course, look at that second. And we can see what all we have in here. We have our drivers and utility CD, which is yellow, which is pretty cool. We have, this looks like a quick installation guide that's going to show you how to get everything set up. It is in a ton of different languages. We actually have cable labels here, so you can label all your cables so you know what goes to what. If you need to change out a drive or something, you know what cable is going to what. So you have those. Let's get this out of the way. We do have, let's see here, we have more booklets. Looks like we have a poster or something along those lines. We have a MSI Z97 MPower poster, which is kind of weird to have in here since this is the MPower board. And then the back, it gives us an overview of the entire MPower board. Which is actually pretty cool. So, you can, if you're building your system, you can go ahead and look at this and say, okay, this is this is this, all of that. We have an overclocking guide, which is actually pretty cool. So this is a guide that will help you, with your overclocking if you are having trouble. We have a MSI software and application user's guide. So all the software that comes with this to help you use that. And of course, we have our user's guide for the motherboard itself. And then we have a door hanger here, and it's pretty cool. So normally we see these with gaming motherboards. They say don't disturb them gaming. So when you're not at your computer or something, it says outbind LN2, and then when you are don't want to be disturbed, it says busy breaking world records. So that's actually pretty cool. I kind of like that. And then over to our other accessories here, we do have these connectors here. They're kind of hard to see in the bag right there. What those are is they are for, this is for your front panel connections. Yeah, these are all your front panel connections. So what you do makes it so much easier is you connect your front panel connections to this, and then you just connect that right into the motherboard. Saves you a lot of time, and this is all labeled as well. Makes it really easy. We have an MSI little case badge here, which I'll take this protective off. This is cool. So this you can put it on your case. You can put it, might fit on a keyboard or something like that. And little case badge right there. We have some Sata cables here. So we have 3 bags of Sata cables, 2 cables in each bag. We have our SLI bridge right here with the MSI logo on it. We have our IO shield, and it's black. I like that MSI keeps the whole color, design all the same. So this is, of course, black, and then all of the things are labeled in yellow. And then we have, what are these? These are our voltage checkpoint cables. So I believe that's what these are. Let me open this up actually to make sure. Yeah, so this motherboard, of course, has voltage checkpoints, and these are your voltage checkpoint cables that do come with the board. As I take a first look at this board, of course, the first thing that really jumps out is the color design here. You know, yellow signifies the overclocking line for MSI, and that is throughout this motherboard. So we have sort of a matte black PCB, which I like. It looks really, really great. Again, I don't know if the video is doing it that much justice, but it looks really great. And then we have black and yellow accents throughout. And of course, you can see the yellow accents here on the heat sinks, on both of the power delivery components as well as the PCH here. And we do have the M logo here for MPower that is on the PCH heatsink. Again, it just looks really, really great. Again, the video might not be doing it that much justice, but this is a really sexy looking board. If we start here at the CPU socket, this is of course the LGA 1150 socket that is going to support Intel's 4th and 5th generation Haswell processors. Now we do have a very hefty VRM design here. We have a 12-phase power delivery system here, and of course it is an all digital power phase design. And you can see we do have super ferrite core chokes, of course, which are very good, very high quality components here. And then we can take a look at our heatsink here. Again, as I said, it does have the MPower logo and looks really nice. And all three of these heatsinks are connected via a heat pipe to keep that, you know, your power delivery components nice and cool. Now I'm going to turn the board around here just so you guys can see, and I'll set it back down. Let's see, right here. So I'll set it back down so you guys can see this, that for our power to the CPU, we have our standard 8-pin right there, and then you have an additional 4-pin as well, so you can actually bring even more power to the CPU with that setup. When it comes to the CPU fan connectors, what's kind of interesting is that the main CPU fan connector is right here, of course, very close to your CPU. And then if we go all the way over here, our CPU fan 2 is way over here. I'm not sure why they kept them so far apart, but it's not really a huge deal to me. But some people it may be. We have our 4 DIMM slots here for DDR3 configuration, of course, in dual channel. We have our voltage checkpoints here, so you can, you know, check your voltage right from the motherboard itself. And again, as you saw earlier, they do come with the extension cables to connect them right up to your voltmeter. And we have our 24-pin ATX power connection and a 4-pin fan connector. Moving down the motherboard, we have our USB 3.0 connection. While normally we see this on other motherboards, it is actually at a 90-degree angle, which I really like. I hate that when they put the connector right here and it's sticking up, and you know the connectors that come with the cases are rather thick and everything like that. I'd rather have it at this 90-degree angle, so I really like that. And below that, we have 8 SATA 6GB ports. Along the bottom of the board is where you're going to find all of your buttons, connectors, headers, all of that fun stuff. Now, starting over here, we actually have a debug LED. And again, as I said, MSI likes to keep their same color design, and the LEDs on that are actually yellow, which is actually pretty cool. We normally see red ones or something like that. Just another really cool small little feature that MSI has put in here. Now, we do have our front panel connections right here. We have a 4-pin fan connector. We have 2 USB 2.0 headers. We have our fast B1 button. What that does is the fast B1 button will boot you right into the BIOS. So if you're having an issue or something like that, you want to go right in the BIOS, you hit that, computer will reset and go right into the BIOS for you. We have the slow button, and that's an LN2 mode for extreme overclocking. We have a OC button, and that will enable your OC mode. We have our OC Genie button, and that's going to instantly overclock your system. So if you press that button, it's going to go ahead and instantly tune your system and overclock it based on the processor that you do have installed. We have our base clock adjustments, so you can go ahead and instantly change those with a plus and minus right here. And we have our reset button and our power button, and then we have our front panel audio connections right here. On the far side of the motherboard, we can see the audio boost chip right here, and this is going to give you a built-in headphone amplifier and a lot of other great audio tools that you can use. Of course, going to give you that great audio that you want for gaming, music, and all of that stuff. And it's actually separated from the rest of the motherboard. You can see the little yellow line here. It's kind of hard to see. That's going to actually light up as well, so it's completely separated from the rest of the motherboard for, of course, less interference. When it comes to expansion slots, you have 3 PCI Express 3.0 x 16 slots. And the way to tell those slots differently from the PCI Express 2.0 slot is the PCI Express 2.0 slot is this one, of course, right here. And you can see the connector that it has on the end. And the other 3, which is this one, and this one, they have this different connector here on the end. So you do have the 3 PCI Express 3.0 x 16 slots. You have a single PCI Express 2.0 x 16 slot, and then you have 1, 2, 3 PCI Express 2.0 x1 slots. You can also see that we do have a 6-pin connector up here to give you extra power to your PCI Express slots. And then if you can see it way up here, you do have a 4-pin fan connector that can be used for an exhaust fan on your case. Between the bottom 2 PCI Express connectors, we do have our M.2 connector, and what that can be used for is, of course, the brand new M.2 solid state drives, which of course make perfect OS drives because they're right on the board and you can just set them up and don't have to worry about it, and they are ultra fast. Finally, moving on to our rear I/O, we have a legacy PS2 port. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 USB 2.0 ports. We have our reset CMOS button right here, which again I love. It just makes it so much easier to reset your BIOS if you mess something up. Using a header or a jumper is just so annoying, so having that button there is great. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 USB 3.0 ports. Of course, we have our optical audio, we have HDMI, display port, gigabit Ethernet, and then of course our audio connections. So this rounds things up for our unboxing and overview of MSI's Z97 MPower motherboard. Now make sure you check back very soon on thinkcomputers.org as we'll have our full written review. And remember guys, if you like our videos, why don't you subscribe? Catch you guys later.